Sometimes a man just needs help. So, I'm Kirk Clausen. It's my wife, Stephanie. Just to introduce ourselves, we have 3 children. We have a 19-year-old Michael, and we have a 14-year-old Aaron, and we have a 12-year-old Bailey. They're not here with us. They're with family this morning. But basically, as Pastor Jennifer told you, she presented the opportunity to come and speak for us to be with you this morning, and so we jumped at the chance. We are Go-To Nations missionaries. Go-To Nations is a mission-sending organization based out of Florida. Has about close to 900 missionaries in about 93 different nations. We're proud to be Go-To Nations missionaries. And our ministry is called Missionaries for Hope. If I can back up just a second. We're from right here in Texas City. Stephanie works at UTMB. She's a team leader in financial counseling. I work for the city of Texas City in the parks department. And so my reason for telling you that is not to define who we're going to be in the field, but to tell you where we are now. And to tell you we're just regular, everyday people, just like everybody else. It's just what Pastor Jennifer said. We've said yes and responded to our experience with the Lord. And He's bringing us into another place. And so our ministry is called Missionaries for Hope. And I'd just like to tell you a quick story, if I could, about how the Lord brought us to that. We were new in a church in Santa Fe, mission-minded church. We've been there about 3 months. And our pastor says, anybody in the congregation, guys, we have a mission trip, our annual trip to Belize coming up. And if anybody wants to go, talk to me after service. I didn't hear anything from the Lord, to be honest with you. I was sitting in my chair. Oh, that's nice. Mission trip to Belize. Okay, well, as soon as service ended, Stephanie jumped up out of her chair and ran over to the pastor, and I could hear her, so I followed, and she said, I'm going. So she even put me on the spot and said, I don't know about him, but I'm going. And so I was like, well, yeah, I'm going too. So we went. I can tell you one of the greatest experiences was landing on the ground in Central America and getting in a van, driving out of the airport, and realizing, as I looked at, Galveston has palm trees, Texas City has palm trees, but it's different there. Looking at these palm trees and realizing, oh my gosh, how ignorant am I? Central America is a real place, and I'm really in it. It's not just something on the news, it's not just a place on a map. Like, this is real. Like, I can smell the grass burning as people are burning their trash. Like, this is a real experience. I'm really here. It's such an eye-opener for me. And so, we get settled in, and our mission team goes out to do street ministry. Now, I've done street ministry before, but obviously never in a foreign country. And so, this is our first mission trip. So, we go door to door, basically, in street ministry. We just pray, talk to people, ask what their needs are, how can we pray, what can we do. And so we come across this one young lady. She tells us her name. Her name is Sardia. She's about 17, she's a big, tough-looking girl. And we're standing in the doorway of her family's home, and we're talking with her, and she's holding this little baby boy, and we're asking her if she wants us to pray, and she's really just tough. No, yada, yada. And so I'm trying to break the ice, and I say, well, Sardia, that's it's a good-looking little boy you got there. And so she says, he's my nephew. And so I said, yeah, we have kids, and I like kids. And so she goes to hand this baby to me, and I said, sure, I'll hold him while we talk. So I'm holding him, and so we talk for a little bit, and I get ready to get in the bag, and she says, take him. And I said, I'm sorry? And she said, take him. And I said, no, here you go. And she said, no, take him with you. And I said, what do you mean take it with me? And totally unprepared for that experience. And she said, there's nothing for him here. My sister, that's her child. She doesn't want him. She just dropped him off over here. We can't feed him. Just take him with you. It's better off with you. And I said, you don't know anything about us. First time talking to us. And she said, I know that there's no hope for him here. And at least if he's with you, there's no hope. And I gave the kid back. But walked away from that experience, just really the impact that that made on me is how many people live and die every day with no hope. No hope for the present, and no hope for the future, and no hope for eternity. And the work that God did in me was He set that on fire in me, that word hope. And so that is why we are missionaries for hope. The focus of our ministry, the goal of our ministry is to share the hope of the gospel of Jesus. We can't change every life that we come across. We can pray that God will change that life when we come in contact with people. But you know what we can do? We can share the gospel, because in that gospel it's a seed, and there is hope that can be grown. Not every circumstance of poverty or hunger is going to be changed simply because we come across and shake hands with someone and pray with them. Not every life is going to be instantly and drastically changed, but you know what? Hope does change things. Living in a bad situation with hope changes things. And that change is what we're after. That change is what the Lord has said in our hearts, to share the hope of the gospel. So, Stephanie's a little bit more of an eloquent speaker out of the two of us, and I'd like to bring Stephanie up and let her talk, but I just wanted to introduce us and share what who we are and what the goal of our ministry is.
Well, good morning. I believe I am a great talker. If I could get paid to just talk, that would definitely be something that I would raise my hand for. At work, I think a lot of the times what we do at work, like Kirk had said, I work at UTMB, we work in the financial counseling department. A lot what we do deal with people who are unable to pay their bills, they need some type of assistance, and also they call because maybe their lights have been turned off, maybe they need assistance with food. So a lot of what we do, we help a lot with the whole entire Galveston County, even on the outside of Galveston County. So I get a lot of opportunities to talk, and I take advantage of that. So if anybody asks me, hey, what do you do outside of work? To me, that is an open door, and I'm about ready to tell you about Jesus. So I will be in the elevator, in the stairway, I'll be walking to the cafeteria, I'll be standing in the cafeteria. Everybody who knows me knows Jesus, and that's just been a goal of mine. It's been a long time coming to feel that way, because it's a little uncomfortable sometimes to tell people about Jesus because you don't know who they are, you don't know where they're coming from. But the Bible does instruct us specifically to go out and spread the word. It's actually what we would call the Great Commission. Like what Kirk had told you, we did take our first mission trip to Belize in 2011, and it was very life-changing. And we met some amazing people. We did actually 3 years in Belize, and so Belize is very much in our spirit, it's very much in our heart. In 2012, I had the opportunity to travel to Tanzania, Africa, an amazing trip that we went in and prayed for ladies in a clinic who had either just given birth or they were about ready to give birth. And when I say they had just given birth, we were literally just walked into a delivery room and the lady hands us a baby to pray for. And that's the circumstance when you're in different countries, you're just kind of like, okay, we're here, and you're kind of standing in the middle of the delivery room and you're praying for a baby. And it's an amazing opportunity for you to not only show through words who Jesus Christ is, but also through your actions. And I'll tell you a little story. We have done quite a few trips, but I'm going to tell you real quick about probably the most amazing mission trip I've ever been on. In December 2013, I had an opportunity to go to Niger. So Tanzania is on the east coast, Niger is on the west coast of Africa. Just an amazing place, very different. Tanzania is very tropical, Niger very desert. So you're kind of in the Sahara Desert. So it's a little different, but it's still very beautiful. We go in December, so it's about 90 degrees during the day, which is very cold to them. We go to children's schools and the kids are literally in parkas. Not even lying. And we're in just our skirts and our shirts, and the kids are sitting there and they're shaking because it's 90, they're used to it being 110. So it's very odd, but it's a very wonderful experience. So we go there and it's just life-changing when you get to see the people. We traveled out to some tribes, and when you go and you stand in all these tribes that you've seen on National Geographic, and you believe, oh, that was hundreds of years ago that people lived like that. No, people to this very moment are still living that way. And you go out and you're able to experience these lifestyles and these people. Well, this is what makes the trip beyond amazing. We were traveling, we stayed in Niamey, which is the capital of Niger. We had to travel about 2 hours outside of Niger to go. You pick up your translators, and about 2 hours out, so depending on what tribe you're going to, that's what translators you pick up. Then you travel about another 45 minutes or an hour out into the bush. Now these are roads that don't exist. They're not even really roads. They're kind of like goat trails that you're now in an SUV trying to navigate down. So we go to amusement parks and pay hundreds of dollars to ride rides. Just go to Africa and go down one of these roads. You'll get a thrill ride for sure. It's very adventurous. So we're traveling from Niamey out to pick up our translators. And unfortunately, our vehicle had gotten into an accident. And the accident happened, we were probably going about 70 miles an hour. And we lost control of our vehicle, and our vehicle flipped about 4 or 5 times off down the side of about a 20-foot ravine. And at that moment, people go, you just said it was the most amazing trip that you ever had. Because it was the most amazing trip. There was 4 of us in the vehicle. It was me, our driver, a friend of ours, Rebecca, and a friend of mine, Ruby. Rebecca, unfortunately, lost her life there in Africa. She did not survive the accident. By the time people got back to us, they pulled us out of the accident, got us back into a clinic in Niamey, where it's just a whirlwind of what's going on, because you're thinking to yourself, I'm on a mission trip, right? Don't I have some type of insurance here? Like, this isn't really supposed to be going on. This isn't really happening, right? So we're in this clinic and we're in there for 6 days. Now, we don't really know what's going on with us. They have very, very limited medical capabilities there. Niger is probably one of the poorest countries in the whole continent of Africa. So they had 2 CAT scans in the whole entire area that we were in. One of them was broke and the other one just happened to be 15 minutes away. So they load us up, they take us there, they find out that I had broke my pelvis bone. So they're like, oh, this is going to be kind of a long recovery, you may not walk for a while, this and that. My friend Ruby has some breaks in her back, which when you looked at her x-ray, you could see physical like bones that were like broken off on her spine, on her back. So you're kind of like, man, this is serious. So as the days start going by, I start not feeling well. They don't know what's really going on. Sure, they're taking some blood, but like I said, it's very limited on what's going on. All the while back home, so Kirk is not on this mission trip with me, and he's hearing hours of delay of information. So he gets a call at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning where I'm at. His call is, Kirk, this is Sean, that's Ruby's husband. The ladies have been involved in an accident. We don't really know what's going on with them. They're alive, but I'll call you later. That's a call that Kirk gets at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's not like he can just drive to Houston where I'm at, or he can just meet me at the hospital. He's at home with our children. I'm in a totally different country. So as the days are going on, we're just kind of surviving in the clinic. It's kind of a day-to-day what's going on. We're not able to eat. The food preparation is a little less than desirable. So we're not able to eat. The people are trying to bring us in food, but you don't even really know what's going on. So we're not eating, we're not doing well. Back home, Kirk's side of the story is, we have to get him home. How do we get him home? Well, maybe let's put him on a commercial flight. No, we couldn't stand. They said, that's fine, we'll pay for some extra tickets, they'll take out some seats in first class, they'll put in a bed, that won't work. So they're thinking of everything. They called all of our big churches in this area, hey, do you guys got private jets? What will it cost for you to go pick up these ladies from our church? None of those churches were willing to do that. So you're kind of going, what is really going on here? We're thinking, how are we getting home? He's thinking, how are we going to get them home? And I'm going to tell you, people say, I don't really know what to do. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do in my life. I'm telling you, prayer is the most amazing thing you will ever do in your whole entire life. people go, oh, well, I mean, I guess I'll pray. Whoa, wait, what do you mean you'll guess you'll pray? Pray first. That's it, pray first. So we're praying, we're just praying, what's going on? All of a sudden our pastor's wife, because our pastor is in his year with us, because there was about a 6-person team, she gets a call from an air ambulance that's located in Dubai, and they kind of said, okay, that's fine, we'll swing by. We'll pick up the ladies on our way back to the States. We have to come back to the States. And it's $200,000. Well, I don't know about you, but I just don't have $200,000 in my back pocket. So of course we're just kind of going, what do we do? That's a lot of money. Well, our insurance, we did have trip insurance, but with Ruby and I together, it was only $30,000. So Julie is telling this air ambulance, you know, we'll do it?
Our pastor's wife.
Yeah, our pastor's wife is telling the air ambulance like what the deal was. Well, they said, like, okay, then we'll lower the amount. We'll lower the amount to $125,000. Well, still, you know, we're needing $100,000. So all of a sudden, they just decide, you know what we're going to do? We're going to contact the news. They contact the news, 11, 12, 13, 26. They come down, interview Kirk. They weren't able to air it at the 6 o'clock time, you know, when everybody sees it. It wasn't able to air until 9 p.m. They said, well, and by the way, we need the money in 24 hours. So not only do you need $100,000, but we need it in 24 hours because of the way that their flight was going to take place. They couldn't delay it. They had to be somewhere at a certain time. It airs at 9 o'clock that night, and within about 24 hours, that's $68,000 in 24 hours. So Julie calls the air ambulance back and says, look, we're really trying this, what we're doing. They said, you know, we'll give you about 10 more hours. In 36 hours, they were able to raise $92,000. So when you think about it, when you think that people go, oh, well, it's you know, people with a lot of money were giving. No. This was 2 weeks before Christmas. So think about now, 2 weeks before Christmas, everybody's already bought their Christmas gifts, everybody's already tapped out, everybody's already made provisions for how they're going to spend their money through the end of the year. People were walking in with $5,000 checks. People I've never met before in my whole entire life. Families that were getting together, pooling their money together, people I've never laid eyes on, people that didn't know me. This was the Lord moving on their heart to take a step of faith. Now, when I see, you know, the video played and it showed Jesus walking through, and I kind of thought, that's the way that we're supposed to operate every single day, that every step that we take is supposed to be with a purpose. I can't think in my brain that Jesus just wandered around. I can't see him as just being a wandering kind of guy. He walked with a purpose. Every place he went, every step he took, every house he went to, every person he prayed for was for a purpose. And when you pray and you say, God, yes, whatever you want me to do, whatever steps you want me to do, he will fulfill your steps with absolute purpose. So what we do, we find out, hey, we got the money, they secured the flight, they come, they scoop us up. It's about a 24-hour flight back to the States. They get us, we land in Galveston, get us out, put me through every x-ray, MRI, CAT scan, ultrasound, everything in our room. The doctor comes in and says, all right, I'm going to go ahead and sit down and I'm going to go through the list of everything that's wrong. And you're kind of like, wait, there's a list? Yeah, that's why you're kind of like, because I only know really kind of like one thing. And he says, okay, looks like you have a broken shoulder, you have 3 breaks in your back, you have broken ribs, you have 3 breaks in your pelvis, a broken tailbone, a lacerated spleen, a punctured bladder, and a punctured lung.
Wow.
And I look at Kirk, and Kirk just started crying. And I'm just kind of sitting there. And you go, okay, because I work in the hospital and I know that a lacerated spleen, you're dead within hours. Within hours, I should have been dead. The doctors are looking at me going, we're not sure like how you're here. Yeah, we're not sure how you're breathing. How did they inflate your lung? Oh, they didn't. Okay, how did they fix your spleen? They didn't. Okay, you know, the doctor is just, because he's thinking of it as if I would have gotten into that wreck here in the States, I would have been in surgery, I would have been in multiple surgeries, I would have been in ICU, I would have been hooked up to every monitor under the sun, and for 6 days I laid in a clinic in Niger that really, I don't really think was really a clinic. I'm not quite sure where we were, and we had no pain medication. So I'm on no pain medication with all these broken bones. I'm not eating, I'm not really drinking very well, so I looked a little less than desirable when I landed here in the States. I had lost an extreme amount of blood at this point because I was bleeding out, but they didn't know where it was coming from. Kind of a funny note, they came in to do an ultrasound of my spleen, and the radiology tech, I guess, comes in, and he's over here with the ultrasound, and I'm not really, don't really know a lot about where things are inside me. But I knew that my spleen was not over here, it was over here. So I had to kind of redirect him, like, I think it's over on this random side of my body. Oh, yeah. So then I'm like, oh my gosh, what is he even really looking at? So I didn't have a gallbladder at that time, so I don't know if he was surprised to not find one. I'm not sure what he was really looking for. So that kind of gives you an idea of what we were dealing with here. So while I was in Africa, God is sustaining me fully through prayer. God is sustaining my medical needs. God is sustaining my pain level. And I'm telling you, as sure as I'm sitting here, I was in no pain. No pain at all. I didn't know what was even wrong with me. I didn't know that I was literally laying there dying. So when we get back here and we find out everything that's going on, we kind of were like, okay, well, what do we do now? The doctor just, well, I'm going to send you home. Wait, but I've only been in the hospital for 2 days. Yeah, he said there's nothing that we can do for you. He says we're literally just laying here watching your body heal itself. There's nothing that we can do. He says you will heal faster at home when you're around your family, when you're around your everyday activities. And I walked out of the hospital 3 days after I got here. I go to my follow-up appointments at my orthopedic doctor just, 3 weeks after the accident. So mind you, my pelvis is in 3 pieces. And she walks in and I'm standing there. And she's like, where's your wheelchair? And then I felt really bad because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, do I need a wheelchair? And she's like, Stephanie, your pelvis is in 3 pieces. How are you standing? I don't, should I not be standing? And she's like, are you in pain? No. And she's, all right, let's take some x-rays. Let's see what's going on. You know, she's just dumbfounded by what is going on. So we take some x-rays. My pelvis bone is totally mending. My tailbone is mending. My shoulder is mending. She is just floored by what's going on. And the whole time, I know she wanted to laugh. But, you know, as doctors, we can't, you know, she can't really do that. So she's just like, look, if you need me, come back. I don't really think you need me. I'm going to send you some physical therapy just because I think that's what I'm supposed to do. So go to some physical therapy. I don't really know what to do with you. So we just kind of leave. I needed, I went to 8 sessions of physical therapy. Even the physical therapist was like, just stop coming, you're wasting your money. Just stop coming. He's like, yeah, I mean, do some stretches. He handed me a piece of paper. I was like, do some stretches at home and come back if you need us, but there you go. So but what I was told was I was not supposed to be walking for about 6 months. I was not supposed to be walking, I was supposed to be in a wheelchair. I was supposed to have probably a year or 2 of physical therapy. My shoulder was mangled, I had these issues with my back, and I'm in my house just like, all right, so when can I go back to work? Like, I'm ready to go back to work, and this is just 4 weeks after this accident. That is what made it the best mission trip I've ever been on in my whole life. Then, 5 months after the accident, my pastor comes up and says, look, we're going to go back. And I'm like, oh, like, do you have a mouse in your pocket? Like, he said, I'm not really understanding, we're not going to speak French here, and he said, no, you're going to go back. And so I thought to myself, this doesn't sound like a good deal to me, but I'm going to pray about it. And as I prayed, the Lord really put something on my spirit. The Lord put on my spirit that we're going to drive down that road again. We're going to go back out to that village. And the Lord said, what if the accident was still part of the deal? What if the accident, what if the injuries were still part of the deal? Would you go? And I said yes. We went back to Niger this past December on the exact 1-year anniversary after the wreck. And we drove down that road, and we went back out to that village, and God got all the victory. It was an amazing trip. And I really encourage you, I know a lot of us don't know what to do. We don't understand the yes. Maybe the yes is a little foreign to us. But in Isaiah 6, Isaiah has this vision of the Lord. And he's standing before the Lord, and the Lord says, who shall we send? Who will go for us? And Isaiah says, here I am, Lord, send me. And that's difficult to say, and it's hard to say, and you go, well, I don't know, we're selling everything. We're selling our house, our cars, everything that we own, everything that we work for. We're selling everything, and we're leaving. The Lord said, go. We said yes. He said, this is where we're sending you. Now, that's not the yes that he puts on everybody's heart. Everybody's not called to be a goer. We're not all called to be goers, and that's okay, because we're a body made up of very different people, very different talents. But we're all called to move in one way or another. If you're called to be a sender, there's opportunities for you to be a part of ministries that are doing works around this country, around this world, that are impacting nations in ways that you will never imagine, but there are opportunities for you to be a part of those ministries. An opportunity for you to be in a different country without even getting your passport. There's opportunities here locally for you to be involved in ministries and missions that are going on locally. So I encourage you, as you go out today, walk with a purpose, pray, Lord, I know you called me. I don't know what part of this whole plan, but yes, Lord, send me. And when you say yes, I'm telling you and I'm promising you, He will move in your life like you've never seen. He will do works in your life, in your family's life. If you have unsaved children or unsaved family members, I am promising you, you will start seeing transformations happen. When you say that, yes, Lord, send me, I'm already happy for you, because it's going to take place and it's going to move you. This church is going to move you. Your pastor is going to move you. But I'm telling you, when you say yes, the Lord will move you. And that is what you need to live for. Those are the steps that are going to propel you into a place of faith and hope and love that you've never, ever encountered in your whole entire life. I'm not saying get on a plane and go to Africa or go to Thailand where we're going. I'm not saying that. But hey, if the Lord tells you to go, you better update your passport. You better be on your way. But if the Lord tells you to walk across the street and tell your neighbor about the Lord, there's your mission field. If the Lord tells you to go to Galveston, if the Lord tells you to go to Dallas, if the Lord tells you to go to Wisconsin, that's your mission field. So I encourage you, this is what we're all called. If you say you're a Christian, I'm sorry, you're called.
Amen.
I encourage you this morning, take that opportunity. We're going to be here. We're going to join you for lunch.
All right.
So, yes, it's wonderful. And we're going to join you for lunch. Come and talk to us. We have some information in the back about our ministry. If you want to be involved in our ministry, come and talk to us. It's an opportunity to impact a nation, impact multiple nations. We're actually going to multiple places. Be a part of our ministry through prayer, through partnership. We would love to meet with you individually and tell you what we're doing and get you excited about mission work. We're excited to be here, humbled and thankful to be invited. So thank you very much as a body for allowing us to be now a part of your family. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I told him yesterday when I talked to him, I said, I'm going to pray that the Lord would speak to whoever it is that He has in mind today. And it's not about what I want or what she wants or what he wants or anything like that. But the Lord is, He knows exactly what He's doing. He's that puppeteer that just gets out there and he just moves things around and moves people around to do exactly what He wants to do. And so I just, I pray that you really do just really allow God, if there was any kind of a nudging whatsoever in your spirit, lean in. Lean in and allow God to just show you what that is. They'll be able to talk about that. And like I told them, I said, we just want to have the opportunity. If we're not approached with this kind of thing, we never have the opportunity to do missions. It's like us going to Ronald McDonald House. That's a mission field. And if we didn't have people that went out and looked and did that, if we didn't go to First Christian Church and help with the special needs dance, how awesome is that? That's a mission field that we're able to shine the light of Jesus. So it's like, we do missions here, and that's a great thing. But there are people that need assistance and need help in order to go further than what we're able to do. And I loved when I was talking to her yesterday. She said, we were talking, it reminded me of Joyce Meyer, but she said, I think it was Kurt was somewhere. No, it was you. You were somewhere, and she said, oh my goodness. Somebody else that they supported, a missionary that they support, went somewhere and took pictures and had it on Facebook or some other, forms of media. And she felt like because she supports them in prayer and lifts them up and monetarily, that she was there with them. And that's what it's about. That's what Joyce Meyer tells us. We know that whenever we go and listen to her speak and we give to her organization, that money, you're a part of that. You're a partner, so you become a part of that to send people in places that we ourselves can't go. So I just appreciate you coming and sharing with us today. And I just pray that if there is that nudge, if there's just a little nudge, that $10, if 10 or 20 people did $10 a month, that's a lot of money. So, but prayer is number one. To pray for our missionaries when they go and spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. Because like she said, there's so many of us that just don't even do it in our own families, in our own workplace. And how sad is that? So they're challenging us. Okay? So allow God to challenge you to see what you can do for them. Please stand and let's close and pray for over this good food.